It gives me great pleasure to honor Bruce Lee on his birthday by a talk. Bruce Lee, as most people realize, was a model of the ethical warrior. He was a man who stood mid-place, hand in hand, in the brotherhood of man, the great chain of being between the Kennedys at their best and Martin Luther King. He believed in violence only in defense of the weak. And because this was the antithesis of the direction that our leadership in America wanted to take our country, he was disenfranchised, in my personal belief, in the same way as Kennedy and King. Now, when I was a very little boy, there wasn't a neighborhood in English. He told me he was going to start getting nasty with me because Billy Rod was taunting him. Like when Cuppy Peckham threw stones at the Jewish school bus. It was an attempt to give the attackers what they needed to hate me. It's stepping forward with a Japanese criminal named Robert Lee, ironic name, was Edward Peisendoor. Edward Peisendoor told me that his brother had made enemies for him before he even knew who they were. Similarly, there's a message coded in that about my father. Little that I knew it. Edward Peisendoor, like Carmen Colucci, would wow me. Carmen Colucci is the only man on earth who admitted that the letters said what they said and told me they probably did that to rub it in because they knew how much you loved him. Be that as it may, he also called me on the phone one bleary day and recited a poem called Never Fully Understood. He used to show me yo-yos and so on, while Greg Carl was telling everybody that Fantan gum was sacred. And McIntosh was reading us The Outsiders in his classroom. And Tony Servey told me he would take me to the Cars show. And Ruth Hammer had a miraculous sabbatical shortly after I was beaten up for making a talk in favor of Shirley Chisholm against Michael Todd, now at Sony, with the rabbit. Well, Edward Peisendoor had much to wow with. He had shuriken stars. And he told me that Bruce Lee still lived. And he observationed a slate outside Connie Balanis's place of operations where Leslie Old Katz and Amy Old Shapiro used to work together. He observationed the slate, said, "Oh, presto, boom." And he broke it in half, said, "Observation, presto, slate once one, broke in two. Oh, many Shimish issues." Well, he also told me that karate was so profound that you could reach under the skin into a man's heart and pull it out. And he told me, shh, we violated the territorial integrity when I was in the Air Force. They said, "How old are you?" when I protested. Many are the Shimish that issues forth from all of this Sally. Firstly, I used to have a gorgeous shirt of Bruce Lee. In fact, it used to appall the women because it looked so beautiful on me, and word had gotten around about what the sex rationers had final called upon my spiritual waywardness. And I lived in Chinatown for many moons. I won't mention the other great heroes of Chinatown because it has gotten Kennedys killed in anger. But maybe I should have said that one of them reminded me of Bruce Lee rather than Robert Kennedy. Maybe that would not have run afoul of UW Dialectical so lethally and so without remorse. Usually, you keep conspiracy theories to yourself for fear of intimidating the innocent. But you can't really do that when Penis Gabriel was using a sledgehammer to hit you in an impacted neuroplasm and defiance of your right to keep silent and threatening to kill bystanders if you don't tell what he's trying to make you say. And rather than tell what they're tried to make me say, on some occasions got me to vomit memories of what they had done to me, which they put through Jaime Carbonell's mistranslating computer for their Neva Corporation lawyers at Shulman. I mean, kind of the, you know, um, scumbags. I mean, foundation. So, like, I don't mean to exonerate Putin. He's one of the oligarchs. You have to take it as a whole network of criminal misconduct that included the Ukraine towards Russians and so forth. I mean, it's mayhem. It's who that's Trumpy Toon's attorney, Adam Pazandorostat, said to the winners go the spoils. I mean, this is it's obvious. I mean, the people like me sit there saying, crying, our children, our women, our human rights, our heaters, everything's gone foul. But these, it's just a Roger Waters meat grinder serving the purpose of some people trying to get ahead, and the Trumpy Toon Putinees are like Greenham. They are everywhere. So Bruce Lee was one who just assessed the situation, preferred not to fight, but held in his abilities the ability to um, conquer an enemy who was not right-minded. And there's a Russian film that expresses this beautifully. The woman chastises her boyfriend for running off bullies. She says, "You'll teach them that might makes right." He says, "No, you'll teach them that might can be broken." Well, that was Bruce Lee's spirit too. It's not ironic that you find Bruce Lee's spirit in Russia at all. It's ironic that America won't admit that you do. That's ironic. Happy birthday, Mr. Lee.